Who would have guessed that having a passion for candy could make you wealthy? That's the reality for Giovanni Ferrero. Basically, he's a real-life Willy Wonka. His business is in charge of making Ferrero Rocher, Tic Tac mints, and Nutella. But where did it all start? How did he use chocolate to become Italy's richest man? Giovanni Ferrero was born on September 21, 1964 in Faragliano, Italy. In 1975, he moved to Brussels, Belgium, and registered at the European schools. He afterwards relocated to the US and attended Lebanon Valley College to study marketing. Later on, Giovanni took over the family firm after his father passed away and changed its name to Ferrero Spa, now known as Nutella. But how did he start? How was the company founded? One of the most well-liked products in Italy is Nutella, which is well known worldwide for its plain yet attractive packaging, smooth texture, and rich flavor. This is what has made Giovanni Ferrero extremely wealthy and successful. He's an Italian entrepreneur with a $34.7 billion net worth. This makes him the youngest and richest billionaire in Italy. By the way, the business was started by his grandfather. Let's say it's more like a company that's passed generation to generation. Pietro Ferrero, Giovanni's grandfather, founded the business after relocating with his brother from northern Italy to Alba in 1942 to flee Mussolini's fascist rule. Pietro started by creating guando giotto, a hazelnut spread still produced today. He sold it door to door using a pushcart until 1948, when he established his first factory outside Turin. But how did the world become nuts for the hazelnut spread? Turin rose to prominence as the world's international chocolate center by the 1800s. However, at the time, cocoa beans were scarce and expensive when trade between Britain and Piedmont was suspended during the Napoleonic Wars. Confectioners had to experiment with hazelnuts and chocolate due to this incident. As a result, the flavor combination chocolate and hazelnut was created. Back in the 1940s, gianduja was exclusively accessible to the wealthy. This concern spurred Pietro Ferrero, the founder of the Ferrero business, to develop super crema, a gianduja paste. The gianduja would cover the entire loaf of bread with a fair bit of paste. Isn't it shrewd? Gianduja paste was the first product Pietro sold when he opened his first shop in Alba, Piedmont, heralding the start of a new age for chocolate consumption. However, the company's global expansion was expedited when Michel, Pietro's son, took over as CEO. Interestingly, in 1956, Mon Cherie, a chocolate bar with cherry liqueur, was created and quickly became popular in Germany. In 1962, as Italy was starting to lose ground, Michel, Giovanni Ferrero's father, decided to rename Super Crema to Nut Super Crema. The hazelnut spread was also given an additional dose of cocoa and cocoa butter. It was later renamed to Nutella because it suggested a nut flavor. In 1982, Michel introduced the premium chocolate Ferrero Rocher. For their brand, this changed everything. By the time Michel turned over management of the business to his sons Giovanni and Pietro, who share their grandfather's name, the once modest enterprise had grown to be a significant player with almost $4.8 billion in annual sales in 1997. Sadly, catastrophe struck in 2010. Pietro passed away while riding in South Africa due to a heart attack. And Michel passed away in his Monaco house when he was 89, making Giovanni Ferrero an owner of a multi-billion chocolate company. However, he's currently moving away from the strategy that propelled Ferrero's rise, a narrow focus on its home brands. Instead, Giovanni is using acquisitions to increase revenues. In the long run, he thinks that the company's current product offerings won't be sufficient to compete with bigger rivals like Mondelez, the creator of Oreo and Toblerone, and Mars, the maker of M&M's and Snickers. Consequently, he paid $170 million to acquire the storied British chocolatier Thorntons in 2015. It was the company's first ever brand acquisition. And now you might be wondering, in this journey, could there be challenges faced along the way? In one word, well, yes. In 2019, Ferrero came under fire for using child labor and Turkish migrants as hazelnut pickers. In response, the company defended itself by stating that while it strives for 100% traceability of its hazelnuts, the intricacy of the supply chain makes this challenging. Also, Nutella's high sugar level has drawn criticism for Ferrero, which for years promoted the spread as a component of a well-balanced breakfast. Even though Giovanni Ferrero has only encountered a few contentious situations, he nevertheless benefits from his millions. So, how does he spend his money? One of the main luxuries the Ferrero family can afford because of the sale of all those exquisite candies is the Grand Hotel Villa Cerboloni in Bellagio's Palladio Imperial Rooms. The 5 rooms in this mansion away from home include a center villa, 2 center suites, and 2 deluxe rooms, each of which has its butler, among other amenities. Only upon request is the opulent space made available due to its exclusivity. It's also accessed by political heavyweights, including the US president. On the other hand, Giovanni lacks the charisma one might anticipate from a successful businessperson worth $1 billion. As reported by the Wall Street Journal, he's the younger Ferrero sibling who's more reserved. Moreover, Ferrero's never been one to take chances or spend money on purely ornamental things. Despite having a net worth of billions, Ferrero leads a simple life. He drives a Toyota Corolla rather than a Ferrari, has only 2 bathrooms in his home, his wife added the 3rd, and opts to wear jeans and a polo shirt instead of designer clothing or a pricey watch when he goes out. Ferrero could easily afford all of these things 10 times over, but he chooses not to. He seems like quite a humble guy. Anyway, what fascinated you most about Giovanni Ferrero?